नमस्कार, फिर पैसा बोलता में आपका स्वागत है। मैं आनंद श्रीनिवासन। कल हमने टाटा की इतिहास के बारे में बात की थी। इसमें कोई प्रूफ नहीं है, सबूत नहीं है, कंजेक्चर थी, जो पीसिंग टुगेदर वेरियस सोर्सेस ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन थी। हो सकता है कुछ गलत मैंने किया हो, बट बिग पिक्चर तो सच ही है। तो आज हम जापान के बारे में बात करेंगे। बहुत सारे लोग ने जापान के बारे में बात की। तो जापानीज स्टॉक्स हम क्यों खरीद रहे कि मार्केट इतना वीक है, जापान में भी वीकनेस है, जापान की करेंसी नीचे गिर रही है, तो हम क्यों जापानीज स्टॉक खरीद रहे हैं, इसके बारे में आज बात करने के लिए मेरे साथ मेरे भाई हैं विनोद श्रीनिवासन। तो ये हॉट टेक्स है तो ये इंग्लिश में होगा, और अगर आपका इच्छा है तो हम इसको हिंदी में अनुवाद करेंगे। विनोद,
Yes. Everyone's been asking me and haunting me on Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, Anand. Anand, your brother keeps on saying Japan, Japan for so many months, and he's saying everything Japan, Japan. But now, if you read all about the Japanese news, their economy is not doing well, and their currency is not doing very well, and the Japanese population is decline. What is this nonsense you guys are trying to sell? You guys may be Anand or whatever, but you're not Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett can do things in Japan. Who are you?
Oh, I am not the great Warren Buffett. Warren is in a class by himself.
Agreed.
And Warren had a Charlie Munger. So,
Still there in spirit.
So Warren is Warren. Let's not have any delusions that
Yes.
we are Warren.
We never claim to be.
Yeah. Okay. Now, why we are buying Japan? First, the misnomer that Japan is doing badly is completely wrong. Japan has come out of a long slump in which they had deflation and no inflation. The Japanese were not spending money. In spite of billions and billions of dollars and trillions of yens being pumped by the bank and interest rate being zero, the Japanese were keeping cash in their hand and post office.
Correct.
They were not even willing to play the stock market.
No.
The 1989 bust had scarred them so deeply. Has this happened in history before? It has happened. It happened in US between 1929 and 1954.
Great Depression.
It took a great war
Yes.
to jolt the American economy back into shape.
Yes.
And therefore, this pressure was there. Now, it took a very seismic event of people finally being forced to buy, and and this COVID pandemic and other things forced the Japanese out of this great slumber.
Yes. Like how the Great War did for the Americans.
Yes, and also what happened is Xi Jinping helped them. The decline of the Chinese made sure the Japanese companies looked up.
Yes.
And Xi Jinping is the next China. He's making the China the next Japan.
Yes. He's busy doing it.
He's busy destroying China.
Yeah.
And what is happening in Hong Kong is only a small mirror. 2-3 Chinese companies have sunk. Real estate has sunk. Stock markets are 20 years low.
Correct.
There is deflation. There is no growth.
Yes.
All that happened to Japan.
Yes. But in that case, they didn't have a leader doing it.
So they did it to themselves.
Yes. The people shot themselves.
The people shot themselves. But now, why is Japan favorable? The world has at 5% interest. Japan is at 0% interest, or was at 0% interest.
Now it's 0.1.
Okay, it's now 0.1%.
Yes.
The gap between the Chinese, between the Japs and the American interest rates has never been so big.
Yes.
Which means a lot of money from Japan has gone abroad.
Yes.
So like Uncle Warren can buy and borrow in Japanese yen and take that money abroad and do what he wants to do. This means that the yen has been in free fall. So the yen has fallen to below 150. It's a 16-year low.
Yes.
Finally, there is some inflation in Japan.
Yes.
Finally, there is wage raise.
Yes.
Finally, people are being paid more. And all this means that the economy has started to chug along.
Yes.
Now you will see more children also after 10 years. 1/3 of Japanese are more than 65 years old.
True.
Less than 10% of Japanese are below 20.
True.
Right? All this is consequence of you don't have children when you think the economy is, there's no future. Why will I have kids?
Yeah, you have to pay for them also.
You have to pay for them. In spite of Japan giving a lot of freebies.
Correct. Because they're not an asset anymore. They become full liabilities.
No, they have said
Government tried to say,
yeah,
everything free.
For children, everything free.
Yes.
And a lot of Japanese are told it's their national duty to produce children. But Japan is not doing one thing that America did. America allowed free migration.
Yes.
So a lot of Chinese are dying to migrate into Japan.
But Indians are welcome. No?
Indians are also welcome. So if we allow a lot of Chinese and now Indians into Japan, the population and the labor market will stabilize.
Correct.
Then the economy will stabilize.
Correct.
But right now, why are we buying Japanese stocks? Is because the yen has crashed so low. Anything that Japan makes is
Much cheaper.
much cheaper to the world.
Yes.
So Japan is becoming the factory to the world again.
After a very long time.
After a very long time. I went to Japan, I couldn't go to see Sony. I hope next time I see Sony. For people of our generation, Japan was the holy grail. There was no Chinese goods.
No.
What is China to this generation was Japan to our generation.
True.
Sony, Sanyo, Sharp, Epson.
It had to be made in Japan.
It had to be made in Japan.
Yes.
So, in fact, Akio Morita, the great Akio Morita's book's title
Yes.
was made in Japan.
Yes.
So, the cheap yen is going to make sure that you are going to have made in Japan again. And the Japanese manufacturing companies are going to have a boom. And Japan is not making goods for Japanese. Japan is making goods for the
Export.
for the rest of the world.
Yes.
So you're going to see Japanese companies winning again. The first example of a Japanese company winning is Toyota. While everybody was looking at electric cars, Toyota was a company that looked at hybrid cars.
Yes.
And hybrid cars, when people are still nervous about owning electric cars,
Best of both.
so hybrid cars gives you the best of both.
Yes.
So there will be a transitionary period in the world
Yes.
where people will own hybrid cars. And they are working on that. And the battery technology is with a Japanese company called Panasonic. So Panasonic, don't go by Panasonic immediately. It's expensive.
Yes.
The Tesla Cup by cars are run on Panasonic batteries.
Yes.
And Toyota is developing, supposedly, the first
Solid state.
car battery. And for these,
That will be a major game changer.
that will be a major game changer because you'll have a 600-kilometer car. So these are the reasons why you should look at a Japanese companies, and they are relatively very cheap.
True.
Yeah.
I hope that gives clarity to all of you who have been clamoring and asking us, why are you saying Japan when Japan is in doldrums? I hope it gave you clarity that Japan is not in doldrums. Just don't read the noise and believe it to be news. Try and study the data and make up your mind post-analysis.
So what is going to happen is all the Japanese companies are also there in the semiconductor value chain. And we have picked up some.
Yes.
So these companies are going to do extremely well. So there is hope in Japan. There is juice in Japan. If there is a correction, please buy. Because Japan will go to zero. And there is no way America can go to zero anytime soon.
No.
This is the logic. Thank you for watching पैसा बोलता है. आपने इस पॉडकास्ट को सुना, इसके लिए मैं आपका आभारी हूँ. हो सके तो इस वीडियो को लाइक कीजिए और चैनल को सब्सक्राइब कीजिए और बेल नोटिफिकेशन दबाएं. इस वीडियो को अपने दोस्त और रिश्तेदार के पास भेजें और उनको देखने की आग्रह करें. नमस्कार, धन्यवाद, जय हिंद.